So now that we've started to connect with what's shaping our current reality, like Gigi said, it moves us into a bigger state, which is what we're here to create, and that's vision. Vision is the bridge between where you've been, where you are, and who you are becoming. It's beyond a goal. It's almost like a feeling. It is a feeling because you're engaging your ways of being. It's like having an internal GPS, a direction, a deeper knowing in your heart and your soul that starts by answering the question like, what does a leader in me see that others can't yet? Like, who do I get to become in order to have what I really, really want? It's isn't that crazy? We went through this process, like asking, like, what do you want? What do you want? And most of us go blindly saying, I don't know what I want. And that is the beginning. So having awareness first, and now we have cleared the space to really start having a vision. And this is it becomes like a guide that takes you beyond anything, any circumstance that is happening around you. When you have a vision, you're being led by it. And no matter what, you deal with what comes in the way that wants to disrupt or derail you from reaching that vision. So the vision is where it starts and it's also where it ends. And it's an ongoing process. And I know that we can share so much about the vision and what kept us standing into the vision of giving birth to this book, right, ladies? Let's talk about that.
We have to apply it into action, Val.
Yes. But the vision, we stayed in the vision. We're like, no matter what gets in the way, we're giving birth to this book. No matter what gets in the way, we're giving birth to this book. So,
Yes, I
um,
feel vision is very significant. It too, because I come across this saying that many people are going fast but nowhere. But it's like you feel like motion is progress, but not necessarily. We could be running so fast in a treadmill and we don't go anywhere. So having that vision where you want to be. Thank you, Val, for elaborating on that because I feel that has been missing, especially when we are in our youth, in my youth time, I didn't have much responsibility. My priority were not really having, thinking about that future, the time when I am no longer getting allowance, when I have to pay for my own bills. Those were not those were not important at that time. So it is important also to understand I say make sure that your present happiness does not jeopardize your future. When we make decision in our younger years, in my youth, I won't say I was really rebellious, but there were times when I was given some things to do and my heart was not really in there. I did not have the vision that my parents had envisioned for me. And
mm,
I feel having somebody who can actually guide you, mentor you, prompt you to do things, even when they're not comfortable, for you to just take action and go for it. Whatever the price is. In the youth time, that is not very relevant. I know, not everyone. I know. I just feel like when I was in my younger, I was in fourth grade. I had this first experience of taking care of my cousin who was just 1 year old at that time. It was my first experience of babysitting. And since he
mm,
was in a different country, I really did not get in touch with him as often. I just realized when I was in US and he was in Australia that he actually committed suicide when he was in his youth. And I felt like, what could I have done? What could I have
Mm.
done to prevent that? I did not have the vision to connect with him constantly and find out how he was doing. And the sad part of it is a few years after that, maybe 4 or 5 years after, his younger brother also committed suicide. So there
Wow.
are people, there are youth who are hurting, and we know we have the tool to help. We already had the wisdom. We learned from our mistakes, and we I could have connected with him and just listen to him and hear what was in his heart. But that at that time, to me, it's like not very, there was no vision of this reality that people are hurting. And I felt I could
Mm.
have done better. I could have taken action. But it's not too late. We can create the life we want and we can still impact other people, youth who really need the message.
So, yes,
Yes.
what I'm hearing, is a great segue into what I would love to talk about. Action is so super important. Um,
Hmm.
life is now, and the stepping into committed action. So, we became aware of limiting beliefs and emotional patterns that could have held us back. And then we created our vision. For me, I never had a vision until
Mm.
recently. Like I just went through life. I lived it. I just let it happen. I just let it happen. I did not have a vision. So as I've gotten older, understanding my vision of helping youth and anybody, as you mentioned, Gigi, is that we're connecting in our vision to our deeper self, to our deeper values. And what's so exciting is connecting with our future self.
Yeah.
Okay. So there it is. It's out there. Now, how do you get there? So sometimes that seems like so overwhelming. I'm going to break this down. Action is steps, honestly. Act so a vision is so cool. It's like your imagination. You're in that state of imagining and just saying, "All right, this is it. I have my vision." But oh my goodness, what do I do to get there, right? So it can, what translating into actionable steps. So you can do something like, okay, so my vision is I want to be an impactful, confident leader. What's a little step? Take a little step into that, to that big vision, is speaking up in meetings like I'm doing right now. It's not my comfort zone, y'all, but here I am. So, taking those little steps works. And then you can get resistance. Val kind of talked about that already, those obstacles that get in the way. For me, my resistance to my vision has been self-doubt, judgment. Um, it's not the right time, perfectionism,
Mm.
all those things. All that stuff gets in your way. That goes back to awareness. Kick those out and committed action. All right. Committed action is so much different than, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm not really quite ready yet. So, stepping into that committed action is where you get from vision, like Val said, from the creation to the end.